Hello everybody, this is going to be relatively quick because I'm going to just talk about my new shirt. I'm going to talk about the fact I'm in the middle of 3 books, and I'm so tempted to start another one, but I'm in the middle of 3 books. I'm also going to talk about some nice recent acquisitions in charity shops and just some of the things that I haven't got to that I thought was worth talking about. So I've had a bit of a horrendous month, and I have done some good reading, so when I do my monthly wrap up, there's some good stuff I can talk about. But definitely it's stalled for the last couple of weeks while I've had some horrible stuff to deal with as a teacher. So June is definitely the worst month for me as far as getting all the coursework in and stuff like that. So it's a really hectic month. So I've been exhausted. But I've been trying to get through stuff, and I think that's why I'm in the middle of 3 books. But there's a couple of other books I'm going to probably read over the weekend, which will be fun. But let me just talk quickly about these 3 books I'm in the middle of. So this is the one that I've been reading for a while. That's a bit disappointing. I was reading this for June on the Range. Oh no, let's talk about my shirt first. So this is my new Muppet shirt. It's well good. And I wore this at the student gig on Wednesday and it went down a treat, which was lovely. But anyway, The Canyon, Jack Schaefer. I like Jack Schaefer, but this is not really connecting. So it's a bit of a hard slog. I'm halfway through, and yeah, I thought it was going to be better than it is. I'll get there. I'll finish this before the end of the month for definite. But that's a bit disappointing. This one I was reading on the plane to New York, and I didn't read it in New York because it was so disappointing. But again, I'll finish that at some point. But I like John Scalzi, but this wasn't getting there for me. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't really making me want to pick it up. So Started Villain, a bit disappointing, but I'm in the middle of that. I'd like to finish it before the end of the month. And then I found this as one of the recent second-hand charity shop acquisitions, which I was really pleased to see it because I'd recently found out about it as well. I didn't expect to find it for literally 30p. So it was really nice to see it. Colson Whitehead's Zone 1. So I've got his other books like Underground Railroad and a couple of others. Nickel Boys. So he's a very acclaimed writer, but this is an early one, which is a post-apocalyptic thing, but I think with a lot of social commentary in it. And I've started it. It's again it's not really in what's the word? It's not igniting my interest yet. So I don't know. Might suddenly appear to be really good, but that was a nice acquisition. It was a nice surprise. So I'll talk about some of the other things I'm not reading that I wanted to read, and then I'll talk about some other acquisitions I've got. So I wanted to read more Steinbeck this month. So everyone's been reading The Grapes of Wrath, and I wanted to. My plan was to start this at the end of the month and then go into the beginning of July with it. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't got there yet, and I'm still catching up with those other books. I don't know, especially the way things have been. I think I probably need to keep doing small, lighter stuff, which still could be John Steinbeck because I really like his stuff. I just don't know if I can do a really big one like this. But that is a little bit disappointing because I wanted to read The Grapes of Wrath today, this month. But this was a very important one I wanted to read because this was on my TBR anyway. It was the next one before we started this event. This was the next one I wanted to read by John Steinbeck, and I haven't got to this yet. And this is like a sequel, I think, to Cannery Row, which is my favourite Steinbeck book. So it's a little bit disappointing that I haven't started this one either. So that's a bit of a shame. And I thought I'd be in the position of having read all those things and being able to read Barehead by Adrian Tchaikovsky, but I haven't been able to do that either. So that's still on my immediate radar as well. Barehead, which is the follow-up to Dogs of War. And I've got Serpent's Egg as well, which was recently released, which is part of that whole universe as well. So I'd like to read Barehead at some point as well, but then, you know. And then the other thing to mention, me and Greg's very long and ambitious idea of reading a short story of J.G. Ballard every week for 2 years. So we read all of his short stories. I'm behind on that still. So a big shout out to Greg. I haven't sent him much messages about Ballard's short stories lately because I have to catch up. But I love the project, so I am going to catch up. But that's something else on my radar as well. So all that's happening. So I will just talk about these things I've just bought in the charity shop, and then I'll just talk about 2 books I'm definitely going to read this weekend, which are very light reads. So I found a novelisation of West Side Story, the film, which I thought was kind of an interesting find. So this is going to be good for Garbaugust. So Garbaugust is coming, and certainly 2 of these books I found definitely I had Garbaugust in my head. So novelisation for West Side Story is kind of interesting. So I don't know if you've read that, anyone. It's by Irving Shulman, and I do recognise the name, but I don't know why. But Irving Shulman is unless it's ghostwritten, and Irving Shulman's name is connected to the film, which might be why I know it, but I don't know. But West Side Story is one that I've recently found. Also, I found an old Grange Hill book, Grange Hill Home and Away. Now, Grange Hill is a very important TV show in Britain for people my age, because it was like one of the most popular shows when I was a kid. Grange Hill is basically a soap opera kind of thing set in a London school, and the show was for kids, and this book will clearly be for kids, but it'd be a nice thing to kind of delve back into that world. Grange Hill Home and Away. I remember my sister used to have some Grange Hill books, and I think she probably had this one. I think he had a blue one that was called Grange Hill Rules OK. I think it's something like that with Tucker Jenkins on the front. Tucker Jenkins is that guy. He was like the heartthrob of the series. But yeah, Grange Hill Home and Away. Found that as well. So I thought I'll get that for Garbaugust. So that's another thing I could read in August. Now, these are 2 interesting acquisitions I found. So there was another McBain book, Widows, and I read the back of it. It does seem quite salacious and exploitative, so that could be a Garbaugust thing. But I know McBain is more sophisticated than that, and I do like the one McBain book I've read, but I've got loads of McBain books now. But Widows, I don't know if Ollie wants to tell me whether this is a good one or not, but I found that for just 50p. So that's pretty cool. So very, very cheap. And I've just found this, which is mad, because I've been looking for this for a long time. And I wanted to find it in the wild by chance, because I've already got it with a different cover. And I'm a big fan of Harry Harrison. I'm going to do more stuff on Harry Harrison through the year and through next year and that. But this is my favourite cover of Star Smashers of the Galaxy Rangers. I just love that cover. And I've always wanted the version of this with that cover. And I did have it when I was younger. So it's nice to have it again. It's not fantastic condition. It's a bit knackered. But it's definitely good enough to read. And I just love that cover. So Star Smashers of the Galaxy Rangers, which is about students at an American college who discover a faster than light space drive and smuggle it into the football team's plane, and then together with the lovely Sally Goodfellow, Krusty Pop, and lovable old John view with horror a practical joke gone awry as the plane screams off to Titan, a frozen moon of Saturn. And then obviously the adventure begins. So Star Smashers of the Galaxy Rangers. That's a cover I've always wanted after getting rid of it in the first place. So there's that. So that's kind of where I am. But then I just wanted to talk about the 2 things I'm definitely going to read. It's going to be much lighter. There's going to be a nice kind of antidote to the crap I've had to deal with for the last little while. And I'm going to finally read my Bad for Decades book, which is literally just excerpts from Mad magazine, which I've spoke about in my Muppet Show tag video. So I'll be reading that. And for Rocket Summer, the video, I'm hoping to do a video on this for Rocket Summer. I'm going to read Ray Guns and Rocket Ships. And when I say read it, it's definitely a picture book. But I want to do a little chat about it as well, if I can, if I feel like it's worth it. I'll film it, and if I think it's a good enough video, I'll put it up. But Ray Guns and Rocket Ships is a book that I really wanted a lot, and it's celebrating the old vintage covers. So that's the idea of the book. So I'm really looking forward to looking at this properly, which I will be doing over the weekend. So much lighter reads, and I want to get into that stuff as well. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. That's where I am. Stay curious, everybody.